It's not someone else. It's not your parents. It's not any friends that are preying on your downfall. It's not any peers that you have that maybe have hurt you in some kind of way. It's not the world around you. It's not anyone else except you. You are your own worst enemy. You always have been. You've always been your own worst enemy. Your mind is more, or can be more, destructive than any other person in your life. However much, no matter how much you might want it to be otherwise, no matter how much you might want to blame someone else for any problems or any mishaps or any grievances that you have, it's always in you. You are your own worst enemy. Always have been. Always will be. However, it doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to, right? Because just like with anything in your vessel, you have the power to change how it is that you perceive things. You have the power to alter your own emotions and how it is that things affect you. You know, I didn't realize that I was my own worst enemy for so long. I was so busy focusing on external factors that were holding me back, or that were an active hindrance in my life, or things that weighed on me so much that I let it take effect and root deeply into my life to a point of extreme detriment to my being, my well-being, my physical, emotional, mental well-being, right? I didn't realize it, and because I was so focused on looking at external things, immediate external, right? Like my immediate family, or my schooling, or just the fact that like I was trying to get away from so much stuff, right? I never looked inwards, and so because I could never, or didn't look inwards, I didn't realize it was all within me. It was all me this whole time, and I'm glad that I'm able to realize this now, because a lot of people can't realize it. A lot of people are so focused on blaming external things, right? Such as myself at one point, that they can never really see that it was all just you. It was all you inside this whole time. You had the power to change how you perceive things, how you deal with things. Like going back to my life, it was my family, right? That was the main one that like really affected me. There was so much chaos happening in my childhood, in my adolescence, right? Still ongoing to this day, right? That I let it affect me to a great degree, to the point of just like really severe depression, to the point of extreme isolation, right? Having this like sense of need, right? Like needing things that I was lacking, right? I lived in a lack mindset, as well as a victim mindset. Like it was a whole bunch of things, right? That I, that I didn't realize it was all within me, and as soon as I started really looking inwards, I was like, you know what? I have the power to change how it is that I perceive the things that affect me, instead of letting all of these like traumatic experiences really take root to such an extreme form. I can be like, you know what? I went through these experiences and I survived, and I have the ability to change it, right? Change how it affects me, instead of it just being a traumatic experience. Now it's a learning opportunity, being like, okay, don't do this, or learn this from this so this doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Or things with my own internal being like, you know what? Maybe this sense of need, where first of all, analyzing where the sense of need comes from, and then dismantling it, right? You see, dismantling. I find it weird that I just said that, because now I'm gonna go talk about like this whole idea of like unlearning unlearning a bunch of habits that I picked up, unlearning a bunch of traits that that I exhibit, unlearning a bunch of mannerisms that really affect me to this day. You know, the severe idea of this, like my whole life, literally just learning and unlearning a bunch of stuff every single day. I'm glad I had to cross the street, but yeah, just unlearning habits that really affected me, so much so to great effect. And wow, it's really hard to unlearn habits that were ingrained in you, right? I'm sure many of you have heard that it takes like 30 days to form a habit. Well, if you've been doing habits for your entire life, it's kind of hard to get rid of that in a meaningful time anyways, like it's very... Okay, I'm gonna have to edit this because someone almost just got in a car crash. But yeah, if you've been practicing a habit for most of your life, it's kind of hard to unlearn that in a meaningful time for you, maybe, right? But progress takes time. And one of those things that I've seen progress in is changing my mind from an enemy to a friend, changing my belief systems, changing how I feel about certain things to a more helpful, meaningful way. I used to very much so be either apathetic to certain things, or I would have such an extreme emotion that I felt like I could have controlled, but unlearning a bunch of these things and, actually sitting with myself, sitting with my innermost self, and understanding that things don't have to be this way, it's hard, right? Because that's what I've done my entire life, but it's okay. It takes time, and progress takes a lot of time, right? True, genuine progress, but you have to commit. You have to commit every single day to learn, to do better than you were before, and to actually question, is it me? Is it me? Like, is this something I can control, or is this out of my control? Because I'm here to tell you, right? You can't control anyone else, right? Anything that might have affected you to a great degree, external factors mostly, right? Whether it be your location, whether it be people in your immediate vicinity, right? You can't control those things, right? But what you can control is your own actions and how it is that you feel about everything going on around you, right? Your own innermost self. That is all within you to control. And it always has been. That's why I say that you have always been your own greatest enemy. But you can always change an enemy to a friend, given enough time. And that's the same with your mind. You could change how your mind works. You could change, instead of thinking negatively all the time, you could be, you know what, I'm going to choose to see the positive in this. Instead of choosing to show maybe hate or sadness or like a really negative emotion to someone, you can be like, you know what, we're all human. It happens. And, we all live in our own worlds. So I'm not going to negatively affect this person's world with my unwillingness / inability to control my own emotions. It's all within you. Always has, always will be. And, we're all adults. At the end of the day, we are all responsible for our own actions. No one else is responsible for our actions anymore, or our own well-beings, or just life in general. We are responsible for everything that we do. right? I think another main part of understanding that you could change your mind, change your mindset, change your like mannerisms, is taking accountability for the traits that you do exhibit. Taking accountability and understanding that things, you know, it like you have to acknowledge, first of all, you have to acknowledge that you have done things or do things, maybe you don't like them, right? Like for in my case, right, I'm gonna go back to me, you know, it's thinking negatively, right? I have to acknowledge that I do that, right? I did that. And then once I acknowledge it as a problem, then I can work on changing it, right? And I have worked on changing it a lot, you know? And that's just one case. You know, there's multiple different things that I'm still actively working on changing, right? And it's definitely hard, right? It's hard making such an active change every single day. But if you show up for yourself, you will see progress. You will always see progress. Yeah. That's what I got. A lot has happened on this short little walk that I've been on. And I'm just glad to be able to come outside and share anything at all. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to enjoy it. Going to enjoy this day that I've been blessed to see another day. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself. Because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, you, not anyone else or anything else, have always been your own worst enemy. But you have the power to change that. And you always have. Have a good one.